I think memories alone can help you not be lonely. I have moments where I get lonely and I'll just play a certain song and it'll take me back to a really, really good time in my life.
A moment in time where you experience a feeling of love.
Actively being where you want to be in terms of the memory that you're thinking about.
Maybe a birthday party or a family get together where you can actually remember vividly what happened. And not only can you remember, you can smell and taste the food. You can actually experience that all over again.
There are times where I feel like I hate time. I have a burning, burning hate for time because it's not kind to me. It's not kind to anyone. I wish that I could catch time and put it in my hands and just say stop for a moment to just stop. Please, just let me have this.
I can think back to the age of 5, and I can remember seeing my dad's face so vivid and clear. And we were on a fishing boat, and it's like one of my greatest memories because I remember the day I can almost smell the fish and him and his friends, and they were drinking beer. I can also remember the smell of the beer and brown. It was very nature like. The boat was brown. I remember the trees. The faces were brown. The liquor was brown. Color brown was everywhere on that day.
Orange. It's how I always really think of summer. Not only because like the sun sets and it's hot, but like it's happy. I love hearing ACs humming, especially like here in my room. I can just listen to it. But when I was younger, I would do is because in this house, in my house, in my room, I don't really have a view. I have a view of another building, which is fun. But in my grandma's house, it's a little different. I'm able to see more people moving up. I'm able to see more of our block and people moving up and down the block and just talking. And in the summer, everybody's kind of active. The fire hydrant would be on, so you'd have the sprinklers. The kids would play outside, and I would just sit and look out the window for like hours, as long as my attention would allow me, really.
I was, I remember it must have been maybe the first time I realized that I was alone. I believe I was about 2 years old. Um, it was a really sad, really somber event in my life that I remember because I saw my mom actually. That's my first memory of my mom crying because in 1968, Martin Luther King was assassinated,
has been shot to death in Memphis, Tennessee.
and I could remember that as a child. And I asked her, I said, "Mommy, why are you crying?" And she tried to explain to me what had happened, and that was very traumatic for me. You know, as a child, of course, just to see your parent crying, um, you were thinking, well, what's wrong? You know, what's the problem? You know that saying, it takes a village to raise a child? I am really a prime example of that. And I'll tell you how, going back in my to my childhood. Of course, I was raised not only by my mom, um, I was raised, of course, my father had a hand in it. I was raised by my great grandparents on my father's side.
My uncle, Anthony, you, Grandma, Mika. I have a beautiful village.
A piece of everyone that I deemed influential in my life, I carry with me.
I grew up in an apartment building in a 2-bedroom apartment with my grandma, my grandpa, my sister, my aunt, 2 uncles, my mom. It was a house full of us in a 2-bedroom apartment. So I had to absorb a lot of personalities, down to my cousin who was 4 years older than me. She was an orphan. I hate to say that she was an orphan, but her mom passed when she was 3 years old. So she was basically raised by my grandmother. She had like this strong personality for a person who wasn't raised by her parents. She just seemed untouchable, and she just didn't show any signs of weakness. And I looked up to her, and I saw that as like, I want to be strong like her one day. But as I've gotten older and realized she just used that as a shield so that no one could hurt her. And she was afraid that if you got too close, you would leave. Now I do notice that I keep a shield up, and it's one of those unconscious things that now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't even realize I was doing it, but I'm afraid of loss. And I'm afraid of losing the people that you love. So I think subconsciously I do the same exact thing. I mean, I put up a show like if I don't really care, but deep down inside I do, because I'm afraid if I care too much, the person's gonna hurt me. And not only hurt me, they may die one day.
I think I find comfort in the fact that I'm carrying a bunch of people with me, because it's a representation of the people who got me to where I am now. I'm kind of like my mom in the sense where I grew up in a house full of people, so like a bunch of voices that's been around me. And as I've gotten older, I've sort of become a culmination of all of their quirks, even down to my dad, who's kind of in my head a lot. Thinking of him is like putting together a story. I've kind of come up with this idealized version of him, taken from the bits and pieces that my family have told me about him. And, you know, every day I look in the mirror, or my mom looks at me, and it's a reminder that he's always here too in some shape or form. I see him in the big 90s kind of leather jackets because he wore those leather jackets as well. My mom says she sees him in the way that I smile, or whenever I watch SpongeBob, because it's something he did as well. It's more than just being proud to be his kid, but knowing that I'm a living testimony to the fact that he was here.
I don't think we should ever let any memories go. Like I said, I wish I could let go of the bad ones, and I wish that those moments could be erased. And then starting it, now that I realize maybe the bad ones is just a moment in time that causes you to grow.
I'll point to a specific event in my life. This probably is in the early 1980s. I had a friend that's said to me, "Hey, I'm not going to mention any names because I'm still friends with that person." We both turned out fine. But I had a friend that had an idea to actually rob a drug dealer, because this friend of mine had been incarcerated previously. He'd done his time and he got out, and he had learned when he was incarcerated that there was a thing going around where you can rob drug dealers because, hey, if you rob a drug dealer, hey, it's not like they're not gonna tell the cops on you, right? So I was like, that's a good idea to get some quick money, right? But I started thinking about it, and I said, well, if I did this, would I survive? I started thinking about all the things that could go wrong. Several months later, and this is very key, I forgot to tell you this. My friend, one of the guys who gave him the ideas, who he was in prison with, actually got killed doing that very same thing. And I looked back and I said, oh my God, that could have been me, or that could have been him, or both of us. That would have changed the course of not only my life, but my children's, both wives, my first wife's like, yeah. It would have, my mother, my parents, it would have changed the course out. It would have affected my friends. I have very close friends who I'm still friends with today. I would have been possibly a memory to them, in the past, and we wouldn't have a current relationship because I wouldn't be here to have that relationship.
I feel like I love you is permanent. People hold I love you to such a high extent, meaning that it have to be romantic involvement. I love you just basically mean you're my person.
It may be something very small, but very significant, because I'm like, oh wow, my niece is thinking about me. You know what I mean? Or, my dad's thinking about me, or let me give my dad a call, or let me give my mom a call, or, it just, those little things mean a lot. Often the things that we call the small things are very significant. I had several moments during 2020 where I had to say, it's not all about me all the time, even though from where I'm standing, I feel like that because I have to be me, right? Because I come to that several times in 2020 specifically, where I had to just be still and say, you know what? It's not all about me. I'm not all alone on this earth. You can feel small. You can feel, I've had times where I felt insignificant, you know.
There are just so many people, and it's like a sort of constant hum or this constant heartbeat that the earth has that I love to just sit and listen to, or I imagine it's there. And just, like I said, going back to my grandma's window, just sitting there, listening to all of it happen and come together to form one single pulse is, I can't really describe what it feels like. God connects us all in so many intricate ways to the point where at the end of it all, you can step back and look at that completed puzzle piece and just say to yourself, wow, this is my story. This is everything that I am. And you're just continuously adding to this huge mural of yourself that has so many beautiful, amazing parts and layers that's just you. I hate time, but I can learn to love it too.